How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another video. My name is Dice, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you guys about 5 bad habits every Rocket League player makes. And these bad habits are really holding you back more than you may realize. You may watch your replays and think, I feel like I'm not making mistakes, but obviously everyone makes mistakes. But a lower ranked player maybe doesn't have an eye to spot mistakes like this. So yeah, I'm going to be trying to walk you guys through mistakes that you're making that you may not realize, right? This may help lower ranks. It may even help higher ranks that are, more mechanical and don't have the game sense factor unlocked at a deep level. So starting off here, by the way, I just want to take a moment to thank you guys so much for all the love and support on recent videos. It really does mean a lot. But starting off, the first thing is flipping, right? You may think flipping is actually really good. It depends, right? Yes and no. So this tip is mainly catered towards 2v2 and 3v3 because this doesn't really it just doesn't apply to 1v1. So for example, if your teammate has the ball, right, so if they have an offensive push, your teammate is over here, right, you see my mouse, he takes possession, he goes up this wall, right, and then what happens is they have a teammate right here that just went for this mid boost, they go up the ceiling, and then they challenge him like this, right. A lot of players in this position that I'm in it right now would stand here, they see, oh, he has the ball, let me flip towards the play. This is a big mistake, flipping, right? Because what could happen is the 50, right? So they're up here 50ing, the 50 could go straight in your net possibly, or it could go in a position where you can't recover anymore because you flipped. And what flipping does is it makes so you're going that direction no matter what. Like if I press the second flip, I can't change it, right? Like I'm going forward. So if it goes behind me, I'd have to wait till my flip ends, then turn, then flip back, and it's better to just be mindful of 50s. Right? So what I would do personally in that situation is you see someone coming up here, you 50, you just wait in that for the 50 to happen. Then once he has possession again, or if the 50 goes your way, you have a free ball. Or if there's no one challenging, then you can flip. Because if there's no one challenging, there's no way the ball's going to come towards you, right? So it's just being mindful of 50s, really. Um, just thinking of the worst possible case scenario, right? That's always the best way to look at it. What could go wrong in the situation? What could go right? Um, but yeah, the second thing is overcommitting, right? This is a huge one, especially in lower ranks, mainly in 2v2. It's much easier to overcommit in 2v2 than 3v3, obviously because there's a first, second, and last man. So overcommitting is when, or what I like to define it as, is when you're on offense. It doesn't have to be on offense, but mainly when you're on offense and the play is towards their net and you jump for the ball as last man and you get beat and then they have an open net. That's the most common scenario I've seen when, coaching people. Um, and the way to combat this is just being mindful of where everyone is, right? So let's say, for example, your teammate, he's here, he gets the ball mid, right? But there's an opponent right here in the net, right? A, do you go for this ball, or B, do you wait? Me, I would wait, right? Because he'll be able to beat me to this ball, right? And let's pretend like I'm facing the ball. I was just facing this way because I was passing to myself. But if he's here, he'll beat me to this ball if I'm here. And that's because he's actually closer to the ball than you may realize. The net's not as big as people think, right? Like there's maybe like 5 feet of net, right? So if he's here, look how long it takes. Like it literally takes like 1 second to get to the ball. So you should only go for a ball like that if A, you're completely sure that you'll get a 50 that will go to your teammate and not his teammate, like not your teammate. I mean, what am I saying? You need to make sure you get a 50 that goes to your teammate and not the opponent's teammate. Otherwise, they just have an open net, right? So that's a huge one. And overcommitting also, it happens a lot on kickoff that people don't actually count as overcommitting, but I do. So like let's say you get a 50, it ties, it goes over, that's a horrible example. Let's say at 50s, their teammate cheats up, the opponent's teammate cheats up better than your teammate does. It's beat like this, right? A lot of people would go for this mid boost here when your teammate's in a 1v2. That's a mistake. What you should be doing is when it's coming at them like that, they're in the 1v2, instead of going for that mid boost, flip back, be the last man for your teammate and let him challenge, right? And you're still in a pretty bad situation because they won the kickoff, but you're much more inclined to survive from that offense attack than you are if your teammate's in a 1v2, right? Because any good 1v2 they should get a goal out of, right? That's the point of a 1v2. They can just go for the bump and your teammate can't do anything about it. Um, so yeah, that's a huge one. The third one is getting boosts. Now, this one's really situational, and it's kind of hard to explain, but I'm gonna do my best here. So, for example, let's say um, you're 30 boosts, right? And let's say I'm 33 boosts or whatever much, yeah, 36 boosts. All right, the ball's coming at me, and I see I have time. What I could do, go for this boost, take possession, hit it on this wall. Now I have the ball, but I have 37 boosts. And you're probably thinking, wait, you had 36 boosts to start out. How are you at the exact same boost? And it's because I went for the big boost and then just used all of it, right? So instead of going here and then, driving for that boost, however much time you have, if you have plenty of time, literally just take possession. You don't even need to go for the big boost. A lot of people think you need a lot of boost to go for an airplay. You don't. Like that right there is not a mistake. Even if he gets it over me, it forces a clear out to my teammate. A lot of people have the misconception that you need like 100 boosts to go in the air. I'll go in the air a lot of times with like 20 boosts, like 30 boosts. Look at this. I have a flip reset. Okay, that's horrible, but I have a flip reset and I have a very threatening shot on 30 boost. You don't need a lot of boost to go in the air. That's it's honestly just awareness, like how useful are your touches. And like it's obviously you can do more stuff in the air with more boost, but you can pretty much do any mechanic with 20 boosts if you're mechanically inclined. But yeah, like getting boost is typically used for like when you grab a boost. So like if I'm 86 boost right now, I drove all the way to get this boost, and then I drove all the way back. I'm at less boost than when I started, right? That's why playing pads is often more beneficial than going for the big boost. So that's a huge tip as well. Um, I might throw a few examples of this on the screen. We'll see. The next one is a thing I like to call tunnel vision, right? Like let's say for example, there's a 50 happening at their net, right? Like it's a 1v1, your teammate has a 50. You're just looking at the 50, right? You're tunnel visioning, right? You're just looking straight. You're not even thinking about where his teammate is. Oftentimes, when teammates are rotating back, they'll look for the bump. So you're probably getting bumped right here, and then let's say your teammate loses the 50, then they have a 2v1 on you because you're going to spawn left or right. They're just going to go for the bump wherever you spawn. So you'll lose that, and that's your fault because you're not being aware of where everyone is. You're tunnel visioning, right? You're just looking straight ahead at one thing. You need to be aware of like everything. The whole point of Rocket League is situational awareness. Right, that's like all Rocket League is. Oh, is this guy challenging me? Okay, can I go up? Oh, do I have time for one reset? Oh, do I have to flip immediately? It's all situational awareness, right? That's all Rocket League is. Um, but yeah, that's a huge one. It's just being aware of everything. In 2v2, it's way easier than 3v3, mainly because you only have to look at two people instead of three. And honestly, it's your teammates too. You have to be aware of your teammates, right? This also applies to defense, right? Like if they're shooting, am I first man or last man, right? Um, is my teammate going to challenge for me? Or like if they're in the air, do I have to challenge first? It applies to all areas of the field. Like if I'm here, should I pass or go for the shot? Oh, my teammate's not really in position. I just have to go for a flick. It applies to all aspects of Rocket League really, and that's a huge one, right? Like that's what separates good players from great players is situational awareness, right? Um, but yeah, and on to the last one. Going for a 50 at the wrong time. This one is a huge one. This is by far the biggest tip I can give you guys. Like if there was one single-handed tip to get your next rank, it would be this one right here, right? So, for example, a 50 is basically also known as a challenge, right? So, for example, a kickoff, it's a 50-50. You guys are both going for the ball at the exact same position to start, and you both hit the ball wherever you like, and whatever side of the pitch it lands on, typically that's the person that won the kickoff, excluding 1v1, where they're like, if it went to their side, that'd be a win for them because they boosted ball. But typically, whatever side it goes to is a kickoff, you won, right? Assuming you have the ball as well. So what you don't want to do. So let's say there's two people coming, right? Like your teammate, he's overcommitted. Your teammate is what am I doing? Your teammate is sitting here in the net. He overcommitted. He tried to challenge it to 2v1. The last thing you want to do is sit here and wait, right? Like waiting for them to come and bump you is the worst thing you can do. The best way to handle a 2v1 is challenge immediately so they don't have time to bump you, right? Like you see your teammates overcommitted, challenge like as fast as you can. that's your best bet to get out of the play, like by far. Like, it's not even close. That's such a good play, and that's the only way to get out of a 2v1. The worst thing you can do in a 2v1, or even like a 1v1, like if the ball's coming at you, like 50ing like that, like 50ing where you don't have possession, right? Let me find an example right here. So obviously there's only one car. It's free play, so it's going to be a little bit hard. But I'll probably throw up an example on the screen here. But like, let's say it gets hit like that, and he's behind it, and instead of 50ing like this, you 50 like that, right? And so then he'll win the 50. When you're last man, you shouldn't be trying to have a flat 50 where it goes like right in front of your net. What you should be trying to do is have a 50 that protects you from the next play, right? Like thinking ahead. Like if it's coming to you, don't 50 straight. Try to get like a 50 to the right or to the left where it goes into space. Everyone knows that once you're in the corner, your corner's your safe space, right? Like try to score in the corner, bro. Like it's almost impossible. Like if I'm in the corner, the only way to score in the corner is like going up in the air, like you know, and that's not even that good of a play. All right, so here's a really good example. I was looking through one of my replays. This is me and Spook Luke against these random guys. So I have the ball here. I jump to avoid the bump on the first guy, and then I flip back and I have the next possession. Look at this 50 that he's doing right here. He's the last man, right? He's behind his teammate, and he doesn't even flip at the ball. So now he loses possession completely, and he goes for boost over ball, and so I can just score the open net, right? That's a really good example of how not to 50. Here's an example of going for boost over ball. So I'm shooting on this kickoff. As you can see, I have a free shot. And just to preface, there's never a bad play by shooting this off the rip. It's a very common misconception that shooting's a mistake. Shooting's almost never a mistake. Because look at this. I shoot. He has to have a really bad save because he's low boost. And my teammate should be cheating like right behind me right here. So I thought I'd open net, but he went for boost over ball. And I'll show you guys his point of view. So he goes to the kickoff. He double jumps on accident as well, but we're not going to talk about that. So instead of going for this right boost, he should be up here on at the net, right? So it is what it is. We won that game anyways, I'm pretty sure, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, um, those are all the tips. If you guys make any of these mistakes, let me know. If there's any that I missed, make sure to let me know of that as well. I'm just kind of getting these from like, in general, what I see when I look at my viewers' replays or, on Twitch, when people redeem the VOD review, anything like that. And I'm just, pointing out casual mistakes that a lot of players make, actually, even higher ranks. Like Spook Luke, I'm pretty sure he's like Grand Champ 3 or whatever, and that was just in solo queue. I don't really know what his rank is, but it's probably up there somewhere. Um, and so, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to comment down below if any of these helped you out. Peace.